days ago, I shared a video all about starfruit or carambola on my secondary channel, which is Food FAQ on YouTube. And I promise you all 2 recipes on that channel. This one here, it's starfruit cuchilla or Anchar. I will be more closer to an Anchar than anything else. And the ingredients are very simple. Of course, I've got the starfruit, and I use 3 of them, and I slice them about 3/4 centimeter thick, and I had it in the oven at 175 for about an hour and 30 minutes, or an hour and a half, or 90 minutes, just to sort of dehydrate them. Because what I want is, typically you would put it in the sun. There's no sun. We haven't seen the sun in Canada, well, in Ontario, for at least 15 days. It's very overcast. It's the middle of winter. But if you have access to the sun, you would put it for about a couple hours out in the sun. So I kind of replicated the sun in the oven, so it's sort of dehydrated. You'll also need Scotch bonnet pepper. I've got 4 Scotch bonnet peppers here. I've got Anchar masala, and I know the first question is, Chris, which brand? I love Chief brand Anchar masala. A great reason to visit your local West Indian grocery store or shop online, or if you're in the Caribbean, most grocery stores will have it. We'll need salt, garlic, and the garlic is rough chopped, the pepper is rough chopped, and in my magic bullet I have about 1.5 cups of vegetable oil. What I'm going to do is put the garlic and the hot peppers in there, give it a puree with a bit of texture, and then we'll proceed. But these are all the ingredients that we need here for this starfruit or carambola Anchar. I know some of you say achar. I grew up calling it Anchar, and I'll continue. I've got a nice wide pan, no heat yet, and I'm going in with that puree. Now here's the thing, it may seem like a lot of oil that I used. I'm just going to turn the stove on. We don't want it on a high flame, sort of a medium-low flame, because I don't want this to be too vigorous in here. I just want to cook out the rawness of the pepper and the garlic, and in doing so flavor that oil. Now it may seem like a lot of oil that I'm using, but part of the appeal of this Anchar is the oil itself. So you're gonna, when you're eating your nice curry dish or whatever, and you take a couple pieces of the once it's all done, the starfruit, you also want to take maybe a teaspoon of that oil and drizzle it all over that curry as well too. So we're just going to bring this up to temperature. Once we start seeing little tiny bubbles on the side, we're just going to lower the heat and let it gently cook for about 5 to 10 minutes. Now here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, please vent your kitchen. Again, it's the middle of winter here, so the house is entirely closed. So if you hear me turn on that fan, I apologize for the noise, but I'm not trying to choke out here. And you can see the bubbles that I'm talking about. That I don't want it vigorous, I just want to cook out the rawness. Now to pull out more of that flavor from that garlic and that pepper, of course we need salt, and we will also need the salt to help balance off the tartness of the starfruit. And you know what I forgot to mention earlier, overly ripe starfruit will not be good for this. It'll be a bit too sweet. You want something a bit more tart. So thus, using more of a green, not fully mature starfruit will give you a better result. I'm going to shake this around a bit, and I just want to cook out a bit of the rawness, as I said. And in a few minutes, I will also add the Anchar masala in there to allow the spices which makes up that Anchar masala to bloom as well and flavor. Now here's the thing, some people like adding shadow benny, which is culantro, in their Anchar or cuchilla. Did I just say cuchilla? Oh my god, what kind of cuchi? Hey, where your mind is today, brother? Anyhow, I don't like it, so I'm not putting any. But if you want to put shadow benny, by all means chop some up and put in there. Now the first thing you're probably wondering is, how come Uncle Chris is not putting mustard oil in the Anchar? And I want you all to see something. It says mustard oil, and at the very back here it says for external use only. Yeah, do some research, hit that Google is all your friend, not just for searching pong pong. No, no. search Google mustard oil and do some reading. This is why I don't put mustard oil in my kuchela nor my anchar. Alright, now you know. Just gonna turn off the fan there so you can hear me properly. It's been about 4 minutes. What I have is the anchar masala, so that's gonna go in here now. And we're gonna continue cooking this down just to, you know, like I said, we want to bloom all those flavors, and not just bloom it, but have them come together harmoniously. Listen to that now, harmoniously. Of course, you want to make sure you stir this really good and coat all of the pieces of that starfruit with that lovely anchar base that we created there. I'm going to continue this for another 10 minutes or so, and then allow it to cool. Once it's completely cool, you can put it into your containers that you'll be storing it in. It doesn't need to go into the fridge. This will keep for, yeah man, at least a couple months on your stovetop. Well, not your stovetop, but your countertop in your kitchen. Yeah. But the whole idea now is to sort of allow, and this is why we sort of dried the starfruit in the oven, is to be able to suck in all of those flavors that we have in there. So I'm just gonna make sure everything is nicely coated and just let it do its thing in the pot here. Sup soldiers? Listen, if you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. If you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me, email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, them butts will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pot. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irie? 30 minutes later, I think I may have sent 10 minutes earlier, but 30 minutes later, what I have here, ladies and gentlemen, carambola or starfruit anchar. I'm just gonna make sure I give another stir before I turn off the stove. And remember that oil I was talking about there? That is pure delightful. Yo man, I'm telling you, your curry is gonna love you when you pair it up with this thing here. Allow it to cool and put it into, I wouldn't recommend a plastic container because the plastic will take on the sort of flavors that you have in there. A glass container would be great. And make sure all of that oil, everything goes in there. Allow it to cool first before you close it up though. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Always a pleasure having you all in the kitchen with me. Starfruit or carambola anchar. I hope you get an opportunity to give this one a try. Irie? Irie.